Good morning, children. Welcome back to the Emerging Political Trends social session, where we have learned the new initiatives being taken up by the Rajiv Gandhi after taking over as the Prime Minister. In the era, it is the Rajiv Gandhi's era, I must tell you. In his famous speech, he made it very clear that 1 rupee being spent by the central government on the poor people, only 15 paisa is reaching them. Then remaining 85 paisa is being eaten either by the bureaucrats, the corrupt bureaucrats, or by the political leaders. So that was very clearly mentioned in the Rajiv Gandhi speech. So especially those run by the opposition parties felt that it was an attempt to bypass them and to reduce their powers. In the economic sphere too, Rajiv Gandhi attempted to chart a different course. So in economic sphere, what he has done is his government's first budget, that was in 1985, he moved towards a more liberalized system by removing some of the checks and controls that were in place. In those days, there were many kinds of regulations. जो भारत देश में, जो हमारा देश में बनाते हैं, वही इधर यूज़ करने का था और बाहर का लोग इधर आके इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं कर सकते थे. There were many kinds of checks and controls were there. So he started slowly liberalizing the Indian economy. Rajiv Gandhi was also convinced that India needed to adapt itself to the new technologies emerging in the world, especially computer and telecommunications technologies. He initiated what we call today as a telecom revolution. आज मोबाइल फोन्स आए नहीं, जियो फोन और मोबाइल फोन्स, ये जो टेक्नोलॉजीज का इनिशिएशन किया था वो इट वाज राजीव गांधी. So that's the reason we suit or we add his name with the telecom revolution. Rajiv Gandhi will be mostly remembered for the telecom revolution in India, which spread the network of the telephonic communication in the country using the satellite technology. जब तक जो वायर था, अब सैटेलाइट कम्युनिकेशन के वजह से the network has got increased, and that system, that technology was introduced by Rajiv Gandhi. So this is the era of Rajiv Gandhi. Now moving after the Rajiv Gandhi, during the Rajiv Gandhi's era, there were many other things apart from this political sphere and economic sphere. There were many things which are happening during his time, like the rise of communalism and corruption in high places. In high places means even the Prime Minister office, PMO, was also involved in many kinds of scams during his period. After the horrors of partition तो 1947 में हुआ था. After the horrors of partition, there had been some attempt to keep religion away from the active and formal political sphere. अब तक 1985-86 तक जो religion was not a predominant one in the political sphere, but this period, however, saw the emergence of a new kind of political mobilization which had communal overtones. That means एक कम्युनिटी के वजह से एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी एस्टैब्लिश होना और उसका व्हाट वी कॉल कम्युनिटी का वोट्स जो है मोबिलाइज कर लेना शुरू करे थे. दिस यूज ऑफ रिलीजियन फॉर पॉलिटिकल पर्पस एंड द पार्टीसन रोल ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट वाज गोइंग टू लीड to disastrous consequences which would raise the question marks on the issue of national unity and integrity also. So in 1985, I think the Supreme Court gave a judgment on a case filed by Shah Bano, who had been divorced by her husband. Shah Bano case is a famous case. In 1985, the Supreme Court has given a landmark judgment in this case of Shah Bano, stating that her husband ordering that she should be paid maintenance by her ex-husband. So her maintenance has to be paid by the ex-husband, while the progressive Muslims have welcomed this decision, but others had protested that it was against to the Shariat law, which was a Islamic law. It was against to the Islamic law. They started protesting against it. So this was allowed. Then there may be further interference into the religious life of the community, they thought, and the leaders of the women's movement and those who stood for reform within the Muslim community or Muslim society argued that it would help to reverse the gross injustice being met by the Muslims women who were divorced unilaterally. Even the Modi government has brought completely the triple talaq to a halt. So that was also giving rights to the women. Women respect and dignity is being built up even in the Muslim community, which were completely inferior, were not met, or their rights were not given according to the Shariat law. So these orthodox sections had enacted a new law in 1986 which let off Muslim husbands and permitted the Muslim women, Muslim religious bodies to pay maintenance to divorced women for a short period of 3 months. This was widely seen as a compromising between the Supreme Court and the orthodoxy people, ignoring the interests of the women in the community. So we shall further see about the Rama Janmabhoomi and Ayodhya issue also in the next class, children. Until then, take care. Thank you.